Mickey Mouse ears, Mickey Mouse ears. A Mickey Mouse ears, Mickey Mouse ears. A good morning. Well, it's morning for me. You see, sunlight is right here. Still got the groggy voice. I am coming in and waking up. Oh, that was back spinal pops. Like pop. Ooh. Oh, I gotta get the 90-minute massage. Sound bougie. I'm so bougie. Um, coming in from our wonderful Ubuntu Christmas event, um, done in partnership with Nellie's Farms. And I have to just do these quick shout outs. I want to shout out to the Blacksit in Rwanda group for really coming through, standing up, and creating some donations and helping put all the money and everything together for what needed to happen. Shout out to Awesome Games. And I'm actually going to be posting a video next week of the work we're doing at Awesome Games, virtual reality Awesome Games, kind of spearhead and led the movement of doing the toy drive for the kiddos and babies. Shout out to Marlon. You're going to see that video with Afro Connect. Marlon really stepped up and helped us pull together a couple of volunteers. Shout out to our volunteers who came out. We needed you. And he also is stepping in the way for J Essence, and he is cutting together the video so I could show you guys everything that happened. Because if you ask me, I took not near one photo. And that's one of the things about what I do. I, I that's why you get so many videos of me talking to y'all, because I forget to pull out my own camera. I just be in the midst of things. I be in the midst. So he actually said, "I got you, sis," and I'm like, "Thank you, bro." And he was really like, when we do something, we all do something. I'm like, yes, that's the spirit. Like we can share things, we can upload, we can do all that stuff. So he really did do that and just really stepped up. Deb for coming in. Day what is it? Dayton, Daytalk Systems, Felicia, Michael. Thank you so much, Renee, Sylvia. And then there were so many people who just donated. And so we have a WhatsApp group that has all the photos and stuff that's coming in, and that transparency of what we work with. We did so much. I think I'm going to wait till you guys get the video, and then I'm going to actually explain a lot of the things that happened, but just at least watch the Instagram. I'm going to post up for a while on that one. So I'm coming in off this morning meditation moment because I am going to go walking, and I'm also going to get some water because I'm like dehydrated. And I got this beautiful message last night from my friend Nelly, and the message stated, where is it? I love it. My baby girls wanted to know, oh my God, is Auntie J Essence gonna be okay? We really, really love her. She's kind of like, I guess, yeah, I'm paraphrasing. I kind of embellish the story a little bit because this is what I had. I need them to talk to me. Plus, they dramatic. They're like, and she's like, yeah, what do you mean? She's like, well, did she steal all those toys and stuff? Like, how did she get that so she could give it away to so many people? And she's like, no, 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 no. She paid money. And they were like, how does she make all that money? And I think it's cute. I think in the end of things, it was kind of like, let me take them on a work day so they could see how money is made. But then also, let's talk about the idea of what donations are and volunteering. And it kind of made me open my eyes to the fact, because let me explain something. There was an event a couple weeks back. And if you go to my Instagram, you'll see I was out in Gashora with the kids for just about 10 minutes. We were looking at schools, and to be very honest and transparent, we are looking at ways to sponsor scholarships for some kiddos, because education is a big game changer out here. So that's one of the reasons why we went out there, to actually observe the school. And in my own heart, I started planning prayers of what can be done. Well, when I'm out there, and people can tell you, whenever I get around the babies and you just let me be free, like I don't have to be polite. We're playing games, we're singing songs, we are doing educational things. I'm just doing. That's my world. I light up when I'm around the kids. It doesn't matter the age, middle school, whatever. I don't care. I'm a different J Essence. You don't know, teacher J Essence. So we're out there, we're playing our games and all that other stuff. And I guess little babies came back to Miss Nelly and they're like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And in my mind, I'm like, okay, here it goes. They're about to shout out to Mzungu because look at me, I'm pale in the morning. Like I don't even fight it no more. I just be like, not Mzungu. I'm trying to get the word cousin down. Like I have it, I just can't pronounce it. But I'll be like, no, cousin, cousin, cousin. Like just because I don't look the same or sound the same doesn't mean that we're not related. I just grew up in a different place. So until I learned how to say all that again around it, whatever. So, anyways, my homegirl laughed. She said, "Ha ha ha, no, no, no." She was kind of like sister, friend. She doesn't and stuff. So I was like, all right, they call me Mzungu. She said, actually, no. I said, huh? She's like, did they not call you Mzungu? They called you Chinese. That was a new one. And I was like, they were like, sis, they were like, thank you to the Chinese lady who came out to help us. So partially in my mind, I was kind of like, oh, we really got to work on the educational system, y'all. I'm okay with being mistaken, but with Chinese, we got to do some work. And well, that's a funny story. I kind of wake up with this, and then I'm kind of like, um, God, plant me on the side where I can normalize Black excellence. God, plant me on the side where I can normalize Black wealth. God, plant me on the side where I can normalize Black abundance. God, plant me on the side that I can normalize Black intelligence. That is what I walked away, because I could easily say, you know what, we need to. You figure out your call. I've spent way too much time trying to drag people to the promised land, Harriet Tubman, versus having the people that stand up and want to walk. But what I do recognize is that it should not be a shock for certain things to be seen. All right, Mike Tyson, for certain things to be seen. One of those is a great initiative that is done by my homeboy. I don't know what his name goes by, but he's in Ghana, and he actually, we talked for a while because I told you I was going to move to Ghana, and we had talked for a little while. Mo, I'm trying to see if you go by Mo or Maurice, but I'm gonna put your stuff out there. And he was just really frustrated because he went out to the village where he was doing work in Ghana, and he does a lot of work. And he saw, I'm trying to find the actual WhatsApp. He saw some kids, and they were loving and caressing, this white Chucky looking, baby doll. And he was just like, dude, I can't do this. He was kind of like stressing me out. And I do remember that he was originally, about, doing scholarship stuff. He said, nah, we need to change the look. And he ended up creating Baby Like Me project, which actually has done some phenomenal work. Where are you? There we go. Maurice the Bruz. Let me see what he's done. So he's done the Baby Like Me initiative, and in Ghana, and he is a major gets major sponsors. When people fly in, he asks them to bring Black Davy dolls and everything else, and then he takes them out to the schools and he just gives them to kids. I'm going to read this out just a little bit because they did a story from him in Atlanta Black Star. And I do way too much, but I'm going to see if there's somebody who might want to partner with him, because we got that same issue here. Big. The baby doll was Caucasian. I thought she should have a doll of her own. Detroit man inspiring Ghanaian girls with Black dolls. Maurice Cheatham changed his life drastically in 2017 when he resigned from his position as a unit manager for juvenile detention and psych intake programs in Detroit, Michigan. He packed his bags, moved to Ghana, launched Africa Roots Travel, a company focused on curating tours for African Americans traveling Ghana. For me, I've seen wealth. I've seen opportunity like I've never seen in my life. The opportunity to be a part here and what you could be a part of, pass it to your kids and grandkids, it's unmatchable. Okay. Soon after, he started a nonprofit organization. The primary product is Baby Like Me program. And he saw a Ghanaian girl carrying a Caucasian doll. He immediately felt like she needed a doll in her own likeness as a Black girl. So he used social media, called out for donations. And that's one thing I think he realized: it was so hard to find Black baby dolls. And that's something that happened to us here where we were shopping for the Christmas presents, could not find Black baby dolls at all. And so we opted with, teddy bears. And I think that's me. Thank you to Mama J. I really don't do white dolls at all. And then we, did teddy bears and stuff. And then we don't do like play weapons. I don't do the play weapons. So anyway, he got 100 hits from friends in his social circle wanting to donate money and send things to help things out. And so there's beautiful pictures where he has these beautiful Black baby dolls. Let me see, I'm subscribing to one more. So that's it. So that's his initiative. And those are really major initiatives that I really see needing to happen in the eyes of our children. And I think in the eyes of our children, we have to normalize all we can be, what we can be on an elevated level. One of my unique portions about how I grew up is I grew up on an HBCU campus. So for me, I don't think I ever doubted the greatness of what Blackness can be, because I literally was around professors all the time. I was around the history stories and I knew what we were capable of. So I don't know if I never had a limitation of what I thought Blackness could be. I had more of a self-limitation of what I could be. But even that, like I've written a poem about, a message to my Black kings, and I know what you can be. I strive for that every day. I strive to see that in you every day. I know, I've seen it. I've watched it. I heard it. I've read those stories. I have the quotes. So I don't understand why you choose to be underneath the greatness of what you've been created to be. Yeah, it was a beautiful poem. It's in, I think I put it in one of my books. Yeah, it's in the book Vulnerability, which you can find on Amazon. We need to go back and update all that stuff. Yeah. So that piece goes back to then when I go back to my mantra of this morning and the meditation piece of, because at first I was kind of like, I want to be, like I want to normalize Black wealth. And in that case, and the only difference I said, and that's why I went for Black excellence, is that Black wealth is important. But in order to become wealthy, you have to have more than just financial gain. You have to have strong insight, business sense. You have to be able to invest. You have to be able to understand these different avenues. So I wanted to celebrate wealth, Black wealth versus Black richness. And I don't subscribe at all to just giving out cash to people, because the cash is a money through and through process. It's the other things that make things fun and make things do. What did you earn? What did you do? And be able to build. And it sounded like, what did you do in order to gain? So that's the prayer. That was so country. That's the prayer, y'all. That's the prayer. That's the mantra of what can happen in this pathway, in this journey, that allows our children to be able to see the greatness of who we are, not to be surprised, not to think that in order to give, I must have taken from somebody else. And you're worthy of the gift. And once these gifts are implanted in you, how do you create that plant and build something else? How do I become a vehicle or vessel that showcases that? How can, shout outs to Nelly, like I said, for opening her farm and doing these things. How can we show the value of having heart lead and being part of these things? And also, how can we make sure we continue to invest in this type of lifestyle versus a lifestyle of taking from others, stealing from others, greed, incorporation, and not working hard, which is a very fast-paced lifestyle that's growing and seeming more popular because we are more intrigued by people who are loud and not necessarily doing quiet work. Quiet work is long-term work. So if I'm going to put it in the same, if you watch Earn Your Leisure, I think Ian Dunlap always talks about the wait is sexy, and the wait is sexy is long-term investing. And he's saying that over time, your long-term investing is always a turnaround in, residuals return. The wait is actually sexy. Well, let's think about that in lifestyle, things like that. If you're trying to get rich quick or trying to just build in money quickly, it can come and go. And while people tend to gravitate towards that, if you're building a business or empire and it's taking your time and you're taking time and you're working hard, the wait is sexy. The long investment is sexy. The long term is sexy. The long work is sexy in this fact of it will become more sustainable. The more time I spent on my cousin connection and cleaning up and building these things and going through these frustrations, the more likely I'm able to build a organizational foundation that is going to be able to carry something past my name or my expiration date. That is why that work is hard, it's fruitful, it's all that stuff, because that piece is what's vital in order to grow and go to the next piece. Somebody said here that, in my subscriptions, you're going to have to start all over. You're going to have to post maybe 2 or 3 times a day. You're going to have to do that work. The work is what breeds what's sexy. What you want to attain or what you want to have or what you want to see, you never saw the ground roots of how it took to get there. You cannot be, I'll say it to you, you cannot be me overnight. You cannot be the best you overnight. You cannot do all that stuff. It takes the work, and the work part is ugly. It's not sexy. It's raggedy. It's just skanking the streets. It is just not, it's nothing attractive. But if you look at our greats, and I look at our greats, when you look at the people who have the stories, who have planted their pieces down in history in undeniable ways, they had upbringings or things that happened that should have ripped them apart. And they have grown from that. Michael Jordan has this miracle story of all the stuff that he did. He practiced over and over and over and over again till he could hit almost any shot from anywhere on the floor, not even looking at the basket goal because of where it was. When you talk about the works, in my mind is blanking out. So, but Nina Simone and how she was denied the one thing she wanted. She just wanted to be a classical pianist, and she was denied that. So she took her passions in so many other different ways and places and stuff, and had to deal with so many no's to create the beauty of what is here. But even on her deathbed, she stayed there and stated that they did not let me in the room that I know I belonged in. Jackie Robinson took all the kicks, spits, and everything for everybody else. Satchel Paige was just ignored for his greatness, and he kept producing. Like, these are the names that are monumental to us now. The brothers who stood up on the podium with the fist up lost everything, but we emulate their picture all the time. That's the symbol of Black pride at the Olympics, to put your fist up. And they've lost everything. They lost everything to stand up because they were in a world that was not against it. So what to me is like the greats that I love, my Nikki Giovanni's, in order for her to write the poetry that has shaped my life, Maya Angelou, they lived those words. They went through that hurt. They were scoundrel. Maya Angelou was a prostitute for a while. She was being pimped in order to find herself. She knows what love is. She can speak those words to other people because she was down in the dirt and the trudging and the soil and the digging, trying to figure out what love was, so hard that when she found it, she rooted herself in it, grew up, and became an emblem of it. That's the story of greatness. That's the story of the people who we come up with. They don't just look at something and become that or emulate that. They have had to plant and grow that. So now you're looking and you want to be the next, Nia Giovanni. You want to be the next. I can't even go through who are my billionaires. Oh, Spike Lee, who, like, the What Is Malcolm X classic ending was done because he had no more money and the studio was like, either can it or whatever. Like, how much does he have to go through? People want to turn around and look at their 2021 stories of who they are or whatever, and want to be like, oh, this person this, or this person this, or or whatever else like that. Not everybody's 100%. Everybody is flawed, but you must understand that in the darkness of the circles and in the depthness of that, and in that you have to find one, there's 70%, and you have to understand the truth of what truth is. And in order for us to create this continuation of who we're supposed to be, hence Black excellence, we have to be able to normalize the fact of I don't want to say they normalize that things happen because this sounded like more of a tangent. We have to be able to normalize not all stories are going to be 100% pretty. We don't know how to be 100% pretty. We wasn't given that road. There are mistakes, there's things. What we have to understand or give people the idea of what do you regret? What would you have changed? What would you be? I am not for somebody standing in their ugliness and trying to teach everybody else is beautiful. R. Kelly. I'm not for that. I am for the idea of saying I made some mistakes. If I had known better, I perhaps would have done better. In my case, I did not know, but I don't know if I would have done better. But here I am now, and this is who I'm trying to be now. And my now is not rooted in me trying to escalate my fame. My now is in me trying to escalate who I am as a person because of the work that I must do. Talk about a tangent. So let me go back to the beginning of my simple prayer of understanding the value of the struggle and the pain. And the simple prayer is knowing that there's eyes watching. And I hope in the next 5 years, when I walk through the communities I get to walk through in Gashur and Bogasera, they are normalized by seeing me and normalized with the expectation of greatness. And that if anybody comes in trying to help or whatever, they know what love looks like, and they're not going to take a handout. They're not going to take a dollar store toy and think that it's the grandest thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. We know what excellence is like. We could be excellent. We've understand it. We know people who look like us and love us. It could be like that. I want to tell a story real quick. I worked for the Boys and Girls Club when I was much younger, and we had the wonderful opportunity to visit, I think it was St. Louis, Jackie Joyner Kersee Boys and Girls Club, like, because that was one of the top Boys and Girls Clubs in the nation at that time. And I remember we got to walk in, and when we walked in, we had arrived like 20 or 30 minutes early. And club was phenomenal. It was bustling. Kids were all over the place. And Jackie Joyner Kersee was like just walking through the club. Like, I guess like some kids would jump rope, and she had jumped in real quick. She did stuff. The kids was not phased by Jackie Joyner Kersee at all. The kids was like, yeah, hey, Jackie, what's up? Whatever, else like that. And then the leader of our group looked at Jackie. It was like, oh my God. And he rushed her over, talked to her. She said some stuff, whatever, and then she pushed aside. And then what they wanted was for Jackie to make this entrance because she's Jackie Joyner Kersee, and that entrance was befuddled because of time. And so she came out later, and she made this entrance for everybody because that's what they wanted to kind of emulate. Oh my God, it's Jackie Joyner Kersee. Look at her club and all that other stuff. And she kind of said, y'all, I'm an everyday fixture here. Like, you couldn't turn around and play this, and you could tell with the kids was like, yeah, Jackie's here, all that other stuff. And that's what I mean by normalize. They were in the midst of greatness and they knew it, but they knew they could be there because it wasn't such this charade of power. It wasn't this big charade or overcast of, oh, that person's there, they're great, you can't touch them, but you can watch them. And I think ever since I saw that, that was a real inspiration to like the work that I plan on doing. You got to be in the work, you got to dig the work, you got to do the work, but you don't want the people around you to be magnified, like, oh my gosh, this person's here, because then you're really not around the work. And I say that when it comes, like when I was teaching and different things like stuff, you can tell when a principal who's really not part of the kids comes in versus a principal who's always been there. Kids will tell you the truth all the time. In fact, I was doing observations in my classroom. I was doing observations for different classes. And I was sat there and I went into this teacher's classroom. And that teacher, boy, was teaching. Woo! It was grand scale writing things, doing all kind of stuff, everything. It was beautiful work if you watch the teacher. I don't watch the teachers. I watch the students. And when I watched the students, they was like, I ain't never seen this before. What? Okay, all right. Oh, carry it on to the left, sir. Carry it on to the left. And I then asked one of the kids, he's like, what's the objective today? He's like, well, I guess the objective for us today is to learn because I ain't never seen this man do this before. He cold-blooded said it. Do you know how many times kids have said this truth? And I cracked up, and I was professional. But the key thing is, it is so obvious, sir. This is not a daily expectation. It's so obvious because of how their reaction and everything else like that you performed in your power that day. Good job. But your power is imminent. You have it all the time. Your power should not be in performance. Your power should be what you emulate all the time. And that's what you naturally do. So the next time that my babies come and ask me, how did you get all that money? I'm going to come and show them my work. I'm going to sit there and show them what we do in my cousin connection. I'm going to have them come and get to see the work side of things, that they know that Auntie J Essence is a worker. And then that work produces, this type of power that puts me in a position where I can do this, where I can build relationships and do these things. And I'm going to say this for my people. It's not just about doing the work. J Essence is an entity that creates opportunities. And so that's the part that I'm going to show. What could you create if you had this? What could you do with your talent? What can you be? What can you teach? How do you teach? How do you explain? How do we show love? How do we turn around and do this? What are your mantras? What are your core values? What are your 5 words for your planting of where you want to be? And my nieces are going to be like, can I just go back and play with the teddy bear? I was really having a good time. Like, I want to be that person. So normalizing Black excellence, normalizing Black excellence, normalizing Black abundance, normalizing Black love, normalizing Black power, normalizing Black intelligence and wisdom. I would say intelligent wisdom. Can we normalize those things? Can we make that where it's not, I don't want to say it's not celebrated, but it's like, that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. I shout you out for being where you're supposed to be. I shout you out for walking in your journey and showing the destiny that's also should be shown. I thank you for being transparent and emulating that so it can be known. I thank you for showing steps or, deciding ways to do that. And I say that for showing steps. Pay for them steps. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with y'all. Pay people to be great. When you pay people, they have the financial encouragement to do stuff. We cannot penny scrap everything. Okay. I feel like there's something in my eye on this morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So that's all I'm coming to with you today. It's just a morning musing of the glory that is to come. So if anybody asks and you're going to say, what motivates me, it's going to be this text message where my babies are going to understand. It's an expectation. Because I know they would not ask another culture, did they steal something? It's assumed that they have. All right, love y'all. I'll talk to you later.